So you just get yourself started with the game's Endless Zone Zero. It doesn't matter why you get into this game, whether you are coming in for the vibe, for the combat system, or for the compelling physics that you couldn't see in any other game.
It's like magic, 去脱把别人驱散灰色。All I wanna say, we all have the same desire. I come alive, burning in
But overall, I do think this is like the best gacha game I've ever played, and ironically, even though it's kind of underperforming out of the big 4 gacha game in the market, but I do genuinely think that is the best one. I've been playing this game for like almost a year, and I've been doing content around it, and I do have some beginners come to my live stream, and some of them would have expectation would actually ruin their experience with the game, because the game doesn't really work the way how they play it. And what I actually mean is the progression system. Unlike the RPG game, the more you grind, the more progression you get. But in gacha game, generally, it doesn't reward you with the amounts of playtime. It doesn't progress based off the amounts of time you grind. It progress based off the amounts of daily login, which you could only do it once per day and the first 10 minutes of your playtime. So let's say if you're grinding 10 hours a day in this game, your progression wouldn't have much differences to the one who logs in and play 20 minutes a day. All of the progression are basically time gated. Like if you want better gear, you gotta wait it out for the energy to fill up. If you want more Polychrome, you gotta log in and do the daily quest. If you wanna level up your characters and your skill, you also gotta wait it out. A lot of things is actually gatekeeped, and the more you rush it, the more you bashing your head into grinding this game, the more frustration you're gonna have. So the #1 tip for the beginners is actually just sit back, relax, and enjoy the game with your pace. Because in the end, it actually feels more like a single player game than a multiplayer game. It only becomes multiplayer game when you compare your progression with other people. But essentially, the game is designed to be casual. You have absolutely no incentive to compete yourself with other people because it's not gonna reward you anything. So you definitely wanna drop this mindset that I gotta catch up with the game. I never have this experience when I play Endless Zone Zero because I am a day 1 player. But I do have the catch-up experience when I play the Genshin Impact. I came to Genshin at the point 3.7, it's about 3 years after the game released. I think it took me about 2 or 3 months to clear the in-game content. And I don't really feel the sense of catching up with other people's account, despite a lot of criticism to the Genshin at the time, because I believe that people couldn't tell the differences between a bad game and getting sick and tired of a game because they simply play one game for over 3 years. I was having a really good time with it because I paces myself to enjoy with the story. I don't try to catch myself up with the endgame content. You just want to give yourself more time to be a beginner, to be a new player to the game, and only worry about the endgame content after you enjoy the beginner content. You do want to sit back and relax and enjoy the game, and just enjoy the story and the quest that they slap it on your face. The story of the game is not gonna be like Game of Thrones levels types of writing, but overall it's very entertainable, and the cutscenes are just awesome. A lot of animation are just so smooth and seamless, and I would say you would be losing more from this game if you keep skipping all the cutscene and all the main story, because those are just so well made. So yeah, definitely don't try to rush your progression, and that is probably the only takeaway that you wanna have in this entire video. So the first thing that you want to pay attention to is this top left part of your selection menu, which you can get into it by pressing ESC or option if you are using controller. The numbers here basically mean your account levels, and what account levels would do is that it would unlock various kind of features in the game, and the magic number is gonna be levels 20 and level 45, because that is when you could actually start grinding for your disc, which is the gear for this game. But before the level 45, you're gonna get all these purple discs, and you don't want to waste energy to grind for them. Maybe you could grind a little for the early content and feel absolutely free to level all the discs up, because you could still dismantle them and use it for your S rank disc, which is gonna be the yellow one. And to reach level 45 efficiently is actually to just enjoy the main story. To get into the main story, you wanna press J, or you could move your cursor to click it. The main quest is gonna be always in red icon with a star. You wanna click on it and click on this green arrow. It's gonna bring you to the maps and then click go. And you will be standing right in front of the quest. Then you press F to proceed with your main story quest. And you could do that any point given in the game to continue with the main quest story. And if you want to do side quests for the extra internet levels, you could press J and you're gonna see list of quests with blue icon. And you could also get there by just pressing the arrow, then press go, and you would be standing in front of the quest to get some extra internet levels. And if you want to check how many internet you're gonna get, you could simply click at the quest itself and checking on this blue thing with the EXP. This is the amount of internet experience that you're gonna get, and as you can see, it has 225. And follow with the most important currency, which is this Polychrome. And you don't want to spend this thing on the standard characters. So what do I mean? When you press F4 or you get into this menu, you're gonna see all the agent that you could pools. You would get the characters that you want in 96 pools, and the guarantee is 180. And for the signature engine or the weapon is averagely about 63 pools. And what you never want to do is that going into this stable channel and use the Polychrome to pull the characters, because these characters are just simply less valuable as compared to the limited one. And you already got this selector, which you could already get the standard agent that you want, so there's absolutely no reason to pull for this channel unless you got this thing, the master tape, because it is meant for this channel. And let's see, what do I got? So as you can see, I also got these resources from down here. It's basically used to exchange things in the shop. The left one could give you extra pools. The right one could also exchange for the material, and 5 pools for monthly. And this is what you definitely don't want to do, is that it's gonna consume 960 Polychrome to purchase 6 master tape. If you press confirm, you are wasting your Polychrome. And what you wanna do is pick the limited characters and go for the pool here. Of course, I'm talking about the characters that you want. It's gonna consume your Polychrome. Let's try our luck. Yep, nothing. So if you press ESC and go to the store here, which has this 24 hours logo, and then you go to this signal shop, and as you can see, this one could exchange the encrypted master tape. You just always want to buy this one, and you could also exchange for the other S rank engine. The only one that I actually recommended is the Brimstone, because it has the best utility. Pretty much any attackers in the game could use it, and you will see a pretty good result. And maybe whipping Kratos if you have Rina. And move on to the fading signal. You always want to buy this one. This one, you definitely get this to the max, and you could only get 5 for every month. And you could also buy this one, and of course any other materials here. And you don't want to buy anything here if you have less than 900 of the currency here, because you wouldn't have enough for the encrypted master tape for the next month. And you could see here it's gonna refresh in 18 days. And the other way to get the internet levels is to simply spend the energy, which you could press F2 and go to training and pick the material that you want. And you could know the material that you want by just simply click C and look for the characters that you want to levels up. Let's say I want to levels up Nicole, and I could see that this one is for experience. Then I could get into the room and grind for it, and the skill would be other types of material. You could click skill enhance and click into the material to grind for it, or you could even craft it. And in this case, I need more basic ether ship. I could have just clicked this one and teleport right into it. And you could do this on every single types of material. It's a really good quality of life that's gonna save you a lot of time. You could actually add the mobs here, or like if I click here, I would reduce the amounts of mobs, and it would also reduce the battery consumption. Like if I fight 4 waves of mobs, I'm gonna consume 80 of it. And if my levels is higher, I could fight 5 mobs at the same time, Then I go to save plan here and go to next and fight the mob for the experience and of course the materials itself. So as you can see, I get 1600 XP. Spending energy would actually increase the levels by a lot. Definitely keep that in mind. Your energy would recover 1 for every 6 minutes and you could have it up to 240, which is exactly 24 hours. But even if you max it out, you would also have this backup battery charge, which is gonna recover 1 for every 18 minutes after you max out the battery. So you don't have to stress yourself to get back into the game every day, or you could just skip using energy if you're on the busy day. So it's actually pretty nice. So what this backup battery does is that if you don't have enough battery and you decide to go for it, it would ask you to restore your battery charge. You could do it with battery or your polychromes. I mean, you only use polychrome if you're a whale in this case. So we restore it and you could use it with ether battery. You would get it from event or the battle pass and each of them would recover 60 battery charge. And in this case, we're gonna use the backup battery and it's gonna automatically fills up the quantity that you need for this run and you press confirm and now you get enough battery to run for it. So as you can see, I got 80 out of 80 here. Now let's get started with the daily, weekly grind and various ways to grind your polychromes. Let's start off with daily. So first you want to press F2 or you could move your cursor to here and clicks on it and it actually got a really good user interface for you to do it and you could have just click on it and it would brings you right onto the quest. Like let's say try 1 coffees. It's gonna teleport you right into the coffee shop and you want to get the coffee because it's gonna give you 80 to 60 energy. Then you let the animation roll and that's your energy coffee. The animation actually looks really delicate though. And yeah, here you go, 60 battery. And we continue with the second quest. Check in the scratch card with the newsstand and click the bottom left and now you could scratch it out and you would get the random stuff. Sometimes you would get as much as 40 polychromes, but it really depends on your luck. Now we get out, press F2 again, open the video store for business and you want to get in here. So you want to pick your promoter here, but as your account progress and you did some relationship quest, you would have S-rank agent to help you do the promotion and you would be getting more materials depends on the attribute that you want. Like let's say if I pick Jane though, I would get more physical chips. So definitely use your S-rank agent when you have it. Then you press confirm. Then you want to pick the matching video tapes. Like this one is matches with the adventure. And every day you would get different kinds of matching. And you want to pick the one that actually match it. So I add this. This one is comedy. I add it. This one is documentary. It doesn't match, doesn't match, doesn't match. The last one is match. So I just add it, get back and press open. And yep, and what this does is that it's gonna generate passive income, which you can see 410 Denny's per hours. And you're gonna get more as you progress up to 26,000 at max. And then press F2 again. And yeah, you have just finished all the daily quests. Then you click on this green flashy thing. And you're gonna get the reward for the day. You're gonna get the internet XP. You're gonna get polychrome and all the various stuff. So that's the daily quest. You could also complete your daily quest by spending energy, but I would argue that the first 3 tasks is easy enough. I don't think you have to do it on a busy day, and it actually took less than 3 minutes to complete it. And if we're moving on to the weekly quest, you look at the left part of the menu and you press the redo weekly, and it basically works like bingo card, and you kind of want to finish this and line this up. And it's also really simple. And let's say if I've clicked lost and found here and I click go, it's gonna teleport you right in front of the quest. Now let me complete the quest. And for whatever reason, all you do is to find a random cat and I don't care what happens with her. And now we get back and check our weekly again. Now we complete this one. We go to this landmark photography. Take the photo of the bamboo. Now you press L for the camera and take it. And you finish part of your weekly quest. And you can get your prize on the right side here. Just press this. Now you get it. Press confirm. The other quests are more like login quests. I couldn't do it with this account. And you want to get yourself up to at least 800 and try to get at least 1200 if you could, because it's gonna give you Denny's, and you would find yourself lacking of Denny's all the time. Now we move on to the weekly combat quest, which you could also get some polychrome here. You wanna press combat on the tag and then press go. and you want to pick the one that is available for you, and maybe pick the buff that you want. And I will go with the third one because there's a characters that I want to try out, and then you click next, and there will be some free characters that allow you to use it, and I'm gonna use Evelyn and Astra Yao, and maybe I will go with Nicole on the third one because she's really good at defense shred. And be sure to talk to these two NPCs and just pick the buff that match your character's attribute. Like Evelyn is fire, so you pick fire. It's actually kind of simple, and it actually doesn't matter which one you go to as long as you just keep moving forward. So there will be some mobs for you to fight, and after you finish the task, you move on to the next map. And yeah, you could also press tab to see the map so that you could know what kind of quest you're gonna get. Like I want to go with the fighting quest, so I want to move on the right side, and I proceed to go with it. And it actually doesn't really matter that much on what kind of buff did you take, so don't stress over it. It usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete the weekly combat quest, so I think it's pretty nice, even though it shows 5 minutes, but it's not. And now you could claim all the reward here and claim it all. And don't forget the one from the left button one and claim it all. And the reward are pretty nice. As long as there are like red mark here, there are probably some reward there. So definitely take sort of it. Moving on to the next way that you could grind for the Polychrome is by Shiyu defense. You would get the access to Shiyu defense at about Internaut levels 20. You could do it by just press F2 again, and you go to the combat and select Shiyu defense. And you want to clear the stable node first, because that's probably the only thing that is available for you. Just keep clearing it until the best of your ability. And if you happen to be able to clear all of it, and the new in-game mode would be available for you, which is critical node. It's gonna be refreshed every 2 weeks, and you're gonna be able to get reward every 2 weeks. And again, you want to clear this at the best of your ability to get as much Polychrome as you could. Yep, let me get some of it. You could click into it, and then you could start a team, and after you clears it, you would be able to get the reward here, and it's gonna be one of the main way you get your Polychrome. I believe that the amount of Polychrome you got from the Shiyu defense is about like 1/3 or 1/4 of your whole Polychrome economy, so make sure that you try your best to get as much as you could. And when you reach Internaut level 40-50s or finish the chapter 3, you would have this new endgame mode called Daily Assault. You want to do it at the best of your abilities to, of course, get the Polychrome from here. And for any free-to-play player or low spender out there, your major sources of Polychrome will be coming from event. So you want to press F1 and do whatever the quest is given to you with this list on the left. And maybe don't prioritize the story mode because it usually has the longer duration, and the event one are usually more time sensitive. So make sure that you want to do these first. Like this one only has 16 left, but we're gonna play this one first. Again, if you click into it, it will teleport you right onto the quest. And after you finish the quest, like as you can see, it got a lot of it, so make sure that you finish the event every time it's out. Aside from the event, you could click this part. These are all events from the past, but you could also get Polychromes from it. So make sure you complete these quests when you have time to do it. You could also get Polychrome from the achievement, which you don't really want to rely on it. And the other way that I find it really good, but it's the last thing that you want to do after you finish all the grinding method that I just said, is simply just get into the HDD mode, click the story, then go to the hard mode, and you complete the quest there. You're not gonna get a lot per quest, but it's always gonna be there. So if you have free time, you could come here to grind. The free-to-play team that I generally recommended when you are going through the early part of the game would be Piper, Lucy, and Nicole. And I wouldn't be surprised if this team is capable of clearing some in-game content. The classic cunning hair is also really good. If you get Lycon or Rina, you could go with team like this, with Kareen as a DPS and any random support. And if you have Rina, you could go with this team. You could also go with a team like this if you have Soldier 11 or Nekomata. And generally, this Lucy-Nicole duo could fit in with pretty much any DPS in the game. Not all of them, but most of them. Anyway, I hope you guys has a great time starting this game, and don't forget to like and sub, and see ya guys.